James and Kathy Flowers have enjoyed love and friendship for the last 56 years. They've served at some capacity in the community for over 40 years. James and Kathy have been members with Healthy Relationships since 2009. They've also been certified to teach numerous curriculums in the area of family and relationship education. Both have a passion for healthy relationships, marriage, and family.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our episode 6 of our Big Picture Love Stories show. She is your host, Lucy Loveland.
And she is your host, Naomi Robertson. And our guests today are Kathy and James Flowers. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Very excited.
So glad you're here. This lovely couple here has done a lot of amazing work in their community. A couple I admire deeply. And I remember when I first met Kathy, I don't know if you remember, Kathy, but it was at a conference. And we were told by a guy on stage to say your whole life in 1 minute. And you were so I was like, I love this woman. You know, you said it in 1 minute. And I was so impressed at your life story. And so I know that you guys have done a lot of work. So I wanted to ask you, how did you get involved in the field of helping couples and parents be better humans with their families? Can you share us both how you got involved in it?
Years ago, at our church, our previous church, we saw some things that were happening with families, and we wanted to kind of see if we could make a difference based on some of the information that we had learned, some of the tools that we had learned. We were part of a married couples club, and we were like the babes of that club. And so they taught us some things about communication, about having fun, and a lot of other things. And so because we had a really tight relationship and we're best friends, we just kind of wanted to share that. And it just kind of went from there. And then people started asking us to come and share at their church, you know. And so before we knew it, we were doing workshops and seminars, and we were guest speakers here and there and everywhere. And then Healthy Relationships fell in our lap. And it's been a go ever since then. And we just love what we do.
Mm-hmm. I remember vividly being at hosting one of those meetings where the couples, it was called Couples for Christ, and where we came together and we were at our house, we were hosting it. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have any furniture at the time. And so I went to the park and kind of hijacked a park bench. I took it back, but for people to
it. Anyway, that's so good. Was this in the middle of the day, or was it at night that you took it?
Well, it was kind of in the afternoon, and after the
quietest time,
no one cared.
It was over. I took it back.
That's amazing. No, that's brilliant.
What really stood out to me is that they just came in and act like there was nothing wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and we discovered that these people that we admired were real people. Mm-hmm. And
That's
they
wonderful.
got along with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they had fun together.
Mm-hmm.
They act like they enjoyed being with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really attractive to us.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were curious enough to ask, so why is it that you guys look like you're friends rather than being married? I mean, they were, after church, they were holding hands, they were laughing with one another as though they were friends. And we were just
Your friends?
Yeah, we were curious. What is this? Mm-hmm. You know, because some of the couples that we knew were just, I don't know, cut and dry. And so that was very attractive. And we were just curious. So what is it that because James and I started out as friends. And so to see that carried on in their marriage, and they had been married for years, had children and what have you. And so they told us about the club. And then when we got married, we were made part of this club.
Mm-hmm. we actually started it ourselves at one time at our church. We started that club again.
Mhm.
And some of the couples were able to come to it and benefit from just fellowship, being with people of like mind, talking about some things that happen in relationships that maybe other people wouldn't know happen in relationships, and how people deal with stuff like that. And it was really good for us because we had its ideal, but we didn't know how to achieve it.
Mhm.
What has been like your favorite thing that you teach? Because you've taught in the jail facilities, you've taught in many different environments. And so I wanted to know what has been like the one thing that you noticed has been a powerful tool for people. That was been maybe your favorite thing that you've taught.
Safety is one of the important things and impactful things that as we talk about what is relationship safety, because you cannot become intimate with a person without being in a safe environment, because intimacy itself requires vulnerability. And so it's really important, and to see even in the prison system, how some of those guys start to understand a different picture of how what intimacy actually is. You start out by defining it. Intimacy is emotional openness with physical closeness. The two of them are actually married together. Emotional openness, but physically close. It's married. You can have emotional openness, but not being physically close. It's really not intimacy. You can be physically close, but not emotionally open. That's really not intimacy. Intimacy is the combination of emotional openness with physical closeness. And that requires and costs vulnerability. And so the thing with this is you then have to create a safe place for people to become vulnerable to you, so that you can achieve this thing we call intimacy, which is really the fuel that drives relationships.
That's very powerful.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's very powerful. We've basically answered
It's heavy.
Brilliant.
As we say, it's very heavy.
Heavy.
Oh, that's lovely. We love a bit of heaviness.
But
Helps us work out.
I enjoyed teaching at the prisons. I mean, that, I don't know, because those guys they were very vulnerable to open up and let their feelings show. And once they found out that James and I weren't going to talk down to them, that they embraced us, almost kind of like, I had guys calling me mom.
Oh, so good.
There were guys that were calling me mom. And so it felt very rewarding to be in that environment, because I remember the first time we had through HRC teach in a recovery facility, I kept thinking, oh, these guys are going to eat me up, spit me out, and then stomp me, And what I found out is that their lives had been so damaged that it was refreshing to be in the company of two older adults that didn't judge them.
Older? Oh.
Yeah, we are older.
Middle-aged,
Older adults
in their prime.
We weren't going to judge them, but we were there to share our wisdom, our knowledge, the material, and it became a safe place. And some of these guys really opened up in ways that I never imagined. And it gave me a different look at why sometimes people end up the way they do. And when it boiled down, it was all about the family. It was all about the lack of family, or the type of family, or the experiences within that family, that they turned out to be who they were. And I'm not trying to give criminals a pass, I should say, but everybody has a story. We just don't know what it is. Everybody has a battle. We just don't know what that battle is and what it looks like. And when you come across as someone that is, look, I'm not here to judge you. I am here to share with you something that is profound, that could actually change the way you see your life and the life of those that are connected to you.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It's quite an impact to make, I can imagine. But it must be quite good. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, it must be quite also, they must teach you quite a lot, because you'll meet people that have gone through situations and environments that you would never encounter in your life. So it must be very beneficial for you as tutors as well, I can imagine.
Exactly. Fulfilling, very fulfilling. We thought it was worth the price to drive all the way to San Diego from Ontario to do these classes. We were excited to make that sacrifice, to actually drive to do these classes. It was such a reward for us to have that experience. And then they were providing for us something that we have missed out on, in the fact that we've lost our children at an early age. And so this really became, a real tutoring and ministry, something that impacted us and helped us. It became something that was a fulfillment for us. So I still have a passion for that, to go to send it to the prison. I hate it when it closed for the COVID-19, but I still have a passion for that.
I look forward to going back to jail.
You've been so excited. This guy's a rare one.
I want to go to jail.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's great. It's a positivity and everything.
Yes.
That's wonderful, though.
I was really surprised to hear you say about safety, because we all talk about the empathic skill, and that's what everybody says. And so you really caught me off guard. And I guess we don't talk about that enough, do we? Like we said about intimacy, if you're coming from a difficult background, I mean, we all have our story. So, you can't even measure and compare sometimes. And to be able to know that if you don't know what intimacy was, because you didn't really see it in your home, that there's a chance for you to learn it, that it's not, you don't have to be super smart. You don't you lost out, you didn't get that. So it's so hopeful to know that that's attainable. And we don't realize that it is safety that we do need to feel, to be our true selves, to feel accepted, and to feel comfortable to breathe in our own skin, and to love fully and feel that friendship. It's so beautiful. The flowers.
It is, and very essential, but it might not be something you would automatically think of, but it is absolutely essential.
Yes.
We talk about the fact that intimacy is a biological need for humans. Humans like water or air, shelter or food. Intimacy is actually a biological need. All humans need intimacy to some degree. And we enter into relationships. Our commercial industry and all of that stuff has actually changed the way we see why we do what we do. We tend to enter in relationships based off of desire, physical desire, attractiveness, and that kind of thing. But the reality is, we need intimacy. It's why we keep hooking up with people. We need intimacy. Like we need water, we actually need intimacy.
Right.
And so I think it's really important for us to understand that I don't need a lot of people. I need one person that will allow me to become vulnerable to become intimate with, that fulfills me. And we tend to think of fulfillment as variety or a whole bunch of different things, but the reality is what really fulfills us in relationship is the ability to become intimate with a person, with another person.
At the end of the day, everybody wants someone that they can be close to and feel safe with.
And trust and build and kind of just grow in that depth, and that that's a consistent, reliable friendship, right? That is just somebody that's not just going to betray you or just disappear on you and abandon you. Yeah.
And I suppose that can be in any form, whether it be a very good friendship or a romantic partner, or even like a parent figure, because then you could break those boundaries, like the hugging and but some people just don't, like you say, some people don't get that at all. No parent, no friends, and so then you have a problem.
So safety becomes the platform for the skills, for the other skills, because without safety we don't do skills very good. Empathy, without safety being involved, I'm not going to be very empathetic with you. Without safety involved, I'm not going to be good at really being a real expresser of myself or
vulnerable, right?
And at the end of the day, without safety, we're not going to be able to problem solve. Not really. Not really. And so I think the foundation for skills becomes a platform of safety, creating a safe environment.
And then I think it inevitably builds trust, right? Because this person isn't going to, react in a way that's or push away or withdraw, right? So that you're building that intimacy, you're building that trust, and this is somebody I can talk to, and we can respect each other, and we can be there for one another.
Exactly. And we talk about this with people all the time. Trust is something that occurs over a period of time. What happens is people give each other the benefit of the doubt because they like each other. But trust takes time to develop. To really,
it's a process.
And that's a process of discovering that I can become vulnerable and you not hurt me. Process. And as that process goes on, as that process extends, I begin to trust you more. And that's what should end up happening first of all, in families, because people, I say, you can tell people what commitment is. You can actually go to the dictionary, find it out and commit it to memory, but to really know it, you actually have to see it lived.
Right.
Trust is the same way. You to really understand it, you actually have to see it lived out. You have to live through the process to begin to really understand what it means to trust this person and they trust you.
Wow.
So before that, we're giving each other the benefit of the doubt because we like each other.
Right. And it sort of continues, right? The benefit of the doubt. So, maybe your partner's having a bad day that day, they reacted, but because you've built this trust and you've built this positivity and safety, I'm not going to take that as an attack on me. They're just dealing with something, and then you reconnect with them and realize, you've given them the benefit of the doubt, or something that's neutral. You're not already thinking, they're just out to get me, or they're just out to attack me. So that benefit of the doubt kind of is also like a payoff that happens right from building that trust and intimacy.
Yeah.
So nice to chat with you guys.
You too.
It's so wonderful. I can see how you managed to tell your life in a minute. You're just so the way you put things together and phrase them is magic. So
what has benefited you in your growth in your relationship? Like, what do you do to maintain your relationship?
Gosh, we have our own silly, fun way of doing things and saying things. Our language. If someone was recording who we are, they would say they're too old to be acting so silly. But we
It's
have
wonderful to hear.
we have a lot of fun because we're friends. You know,
Right.
this is my buddy. And so because he's my buddy, I can just be me and I can just be silly. I can say something in a silly way and he'll give me a silly look like, really? You know, but it feels very comfortable. I feel very good in my skin because of our relationship. He gives me a pass. You know, sometimes I just need a piece of chocolate so that I can be myself because I'm
you have a pass for chocolate, but here you go.
I'm a recovering.
You only get one a week now. Just remember.
Oh, no.
On a month?
Every day.
Listen, I'm a recovering chocoholic, and so
I
and I'm not trying
understand.
to quit.
I understand.
I'm not trying to quit, but you know, because I'm female. You know, what can I say?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, for you.
You're all right.
So he understands Kathy, and that feels so good that he understands me. I don't have to explain, you know, and sometimes I do explain, well, I'm feeling this kind of way, but it feels so right. It's like he was born for me, I was born for him, and so now we're attached, we're hooked together, and we can't come apart.
You're out robbing park furniture together. It's like Bonnie and Clyde. You can't. You're there knitting the burglary. That's great. That's how you know you've made it. If you That's brilliant. And he puts it back.
You know,
brilliant, like a vigilante. It's probably been cleaned as well.
Yeah, we got married.
That's lovely.
Refrigerator. We had a bedroom set that his family purchased for us, but no furniture. I think we had some fold up chairs, but that was it.
Oh, that's good.
But these people who had been married for years just came in and they said, "Oh, I love your house." They didn't say furniture, but they said, "Oh, I love your house," you know, but
no judgment. They just what nice to see you. They were here for you, not what decor you had. That's wonderful.
Years ago, I didn't understand what a life partner meant, but I do now because, you know, James and I have been married for over 50 years. And so
cool.
It feels
Congratulations. Yeah, amazing.
It feels very normal. This is the way it should be. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it can be, because a lot of people have asked us, so how have you guys done it? You know? And then I'll ask, so how long do you have? You know, how much time do you have?
Amazing.
And it's a combination of a lot of things, but I think between the two of us, we've learned to manage life, because right now life is very difficult. And for some people, being together in the same household during the pandemic has been very devastating for them, because they do not have a good, solid relationship. They're used to one's going one way, the other is going the other way.
Distractions.
And
they're gone.
I'll see you in 9 hours after I get back from work. And so they don't have that right now, because some people are working from home. And for some, it's just shown them who they really are. And that's why I said yesterday at our meeting, there should be PSAs over TV, radio, any way we can get it out there, that healthy relationships are vital for the survival of our civilization, for homes, families, couples.
Well, here's your opportunity. This goes on YouTube and podcast. Tell us the PSA, Kathy.
Yes. Healthy Relationships California is an organization that has been in existence for, I believe, 15 years. And what we do is we submit proposals to the federal government for grants, and it always deals with the individual, families, couples, and dads and their relationships with their children. And what we've done over the years is we have a track record of reaching millions of people.
Wow.
Couples, families,
Fantastic.
husbands, wives, dads. And I believe that Healthy Relationships is a good organization, and I wish that there were more organizations like it, because what the world needs now is not just love, sweet love, but we need good relationships.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Bravo.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
Yes, you heard it here first. Yes, this will be the first PSA.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that has happened with Babe and I is that I didn't really necessarily know how to articulate it until one day in one of our curriculums we were teaching. Babe was teaching the women, and I was sitting on the outside just kind of listening
at a recovery center.
At a recovery center. Mm-hmm. And she made this statement. I'm trying to really now incorporate it into a curriculum. It's I like you. I like you. Because I like you, I want to be around you. Because when I'm around you, I feel better about me.
Oh,
and
that's wonderful. That's really nice.
Around that concept, an actual curriculum that then brings skills into it. Another thing from that, there are 3 questions that all humans ask all the time. Now, we get more sophisticated as we get older in how we ask these questions. The first one is, am I okay? Am I okay? And really what I'm asking you is, would you choose me? Am I okay? And the second question is, did I do good? And what we're actually saying is, will you cheer for me? Mm-hmm. All humans need a cheerleader. Mm-hmm. All of us.
Yeah.
We all need a cheerleader. And the third one is, do you still love me? And so the third question says this: I understand that all humans come with a price. Mm-hmm. All of us. To be with each other means we pay a price to be with this other person.
Sacrifice.
That's a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the question becomes, now that you know what I cost, would you still pay to be with me?
Oh,
or
wow.
would you write me off as saying they're not worth the price? All of us ask these questions all the time. We get sophisticated in how we ask it. We ask it all the time. Am I okay? Would you choose me? Do you like my tie? Am I okay? Would you choose me? I did such and such. I need you to say, wow, you did good. In other words, will you cheer for me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm constantly wanting to know, now that you know who I am, would you still pay to be with me?
Mm-hmm. So beautiful.
Yeah, that
so
is
beautiful.
But it is, those are the 3 questions that you do ask, just in a different way. It's a very good point. Every day you do, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Always checking in with people.
Yes. And so the ability to recognize when your mate is asking that and to be able to answer it.
Yes, that's vital, because I suppose you don't know when someone,
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if you're a parent with your children, the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And also, like, I remember knowing that as like a research showed that one thing good friendships have is they celebrate each other's successes, no matter how small. Right. So that's that basis of the friendship and the relationship.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those things just kind of over a period of time created a foundation for us, so that and then along with the fact that we were in this group that taught us some basic skills from the beginning, we didn't wound each other.
Mhm.
so that we didn't spend a
Right.
lot of time trying to repair
The damage.
damage stuff that we did when we just didn't know what we were doing.
Mm.
We were able to build a stronger and a solid foundation to live on. So the benefit of that now is that we have a good relationship now.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's
And
my passion.
that's a good point to make right there, is being able to repair and rebuild, because a lot of people think we're ruined, or I really love this person and I want this to work, but are we going to be able to? So that's my question to you: is repair possible?
I believe it
I think
is,
so.
especially if you have goodwill for one another.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you truly love each other, you have to give people grace. All of us are going to mess up from time to time. Every
Mhm.
last one of it, because we're human beings, we're going to mess up. We're either going to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, or think the wrong thing. But that doesn't mean that it's over. And unfortunately, without the skills of Healthy Relationships California, you don't know how to make those repairs. You don't understand that there are ways that you can, before you say the wrong thing, think about it before it comes out of your mouth. What would this sound like? What would this feel like? If I were on the opposite end, if someone said this to me, would I be as hurt, or would I be as offended? So I believe without knowing, you can just do irreparable damage, because you'll just keep doing it again and again and again and not know when to stop.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree, because they say, I heard somewhere recently, that it's a mistake if you keep doing it over and over again. If you learn from it, it's not a mistake, it's an education.
Right.
Right.
That's
So
right.
It's really good.
Right.
but the truth is, what I want to also kind of, and I think you agree, is that as we don't there is no perfect relationship. There's great, but that doesn't mean we're free from mistakes, or we're free from disappointments, or getting on each other's nerves. So just kind of giving people that tranquility, or that peace of mind, that you don't have to be a perfect person. You don't have to be
Mm.
not make mistakes at all, because that happens, like you said, and it's important to remember that.
I think especially when, like, as a lot of things are online, and as of all our ages, we can see people showing more and more of their lives, like inside the house and stuff like that. And if they're a couple, they'll like be like an influencer couple, and like couples or friendships will then compare their own friendships to them.
Mhm.
And they'll think, oh, why aren't we perfect like that all the time? And actually they're probably not perfect either. And that's okay. This all makes me think of, I have a best friend called Johnny, and we've been best friends for nearly 9 years now. And if someone looked at us now, they'd think we're like as thick as thieves, like we got on like a house on fire. He's probably the closest I'll get to ever is having to a soulmate. And but we have gone through some major stuff to get to this. We've sort of hit our heaven, where we probably won't go back now. But we've gone through some serious up and downs and arguments, and and we've both grown up together. So we've both gone through terrible teenage years and stuff like that. So, but you come out the other side and people see us now and they're like, oh, I wish we, how are you guys such amazing friends? Who are like, well, we've had some seriously tricky times, but I think, yeah, like you say, we've had to repair quite a few times. But it's been totally worth it, because it's like it's at pure bliss now. So I do see, I don't think I've ever been like, I think definitely you have to see it to believe it, sort of thing. You have to go through it, like you say, with commitment and with trust. You have to go through it to really be able to believe it. So yeah, so I do think it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's so that's so wonderful that you have gotten to that place, and that's our passion. we want people to get there. That's
Yeah,
what we want.
it's wonderful when you do.
But I think people quite often think, I see you there and I want to go there instantly. And
yes,
it's not
I
real.
don't realize it takes 9 years of your life and your sanity to get there. Or, you know, it takes a long time. It does.
Exactly.
And yeah. And I
So-
don't
And
think...
also, the truth is, conflict is inevitable, right? So that's why we have the skills to know how to deal with it, because it's not that happy couples have zero conflict,
No,
right? It's just
exactly.
that they know how to recover and keep that friendship.
Yeah.
Because
What were you going to say?
That's not realistic. That's not real life. And I think we get fooled by what we see on film, and it makes us think that it's a fantasy, you know. But you can have a good, healthy, solid, firm relationship, but it does take work. And I don't mean grueling work where, you know, you're in a sweat when you're done, but it just takes thinking about what you want to say before you say it.
Yeah, definitely.
Thinking what the outcome would be if you said it a certain way. So it's all about reflecting on what maybe you've said in the past that didn't go so well, trying not to repeat that, but saying it in a different way. And that's the beauty of the material that we use. It teaches us how to be skillful. And sometimes people look at, teaching relationship education. People are afraid of the word education, but I think life is education. You learn throughout your life. You learn when you're younger, you learn when you're in your mid years, and when you're in your latter years, what to do, what not to do, or how to do. And if we take the time to educate ourselves, I believe we will end up feeling very rewarded, because life is difficult all by itself. But to have to come home to someone that I'm not in a good relationship with, that's not good. That's stressful. That's tiresome. But I believe relationship education helps to just remind us, if I could remember to do this versus that, then I'm educating myself so that in the long run, my life will be blissful.
Yes. Heaven.
You take your words, Naomi.
Yeah, it's a blissful. It is.
And I agree with you, Kathy, about it's work, not the grueling, sweaty work. But it's not like doing more. It's just doing something different. Just kind of being mindful and flipping it. And that in the end, instead of feeling tired and sweaty, you get a lot of payoff.
Right. Yeah. And I believe that people that were around, like our family, have benefited just from being around us. And I'm not saying that we're the stars of our family, but I noticed that people like to hear Uncle James. They like to be around Uncle James, because when he speaks, people kind of lean in, you know. When we're at family gatherings, when Uncle James speaks, people do this, you know, because they want to hear what he has to say. And I believe families will glean from having a healthy couple or a healthy family within extended families, just by how you interact with one another, how you engage in conversations, how you treat one another, and how you treat the rest of the family. That is education in itself, just being observant. Like, so that's how you talk to your mate. So that's how you talk to your children. Oh, I get it.
Right, like modeling, because we do imitate each other. So being modeled, you don't even have to tell them, do this. Just showing the example.
Sure.
It's a huge thing.
What are your 3 most poignant relationships? They don't have to be the best relationships or like your most happiest relationship. Even they could be relationships you've learned the most from, ones that have just stuck in your life. James, what are your 3 poignant relationships in your life,
I
or even at the moment?
well, the first of all, I would say my dad. My
Mm.
dad is probably the most important person or man that I've ever known. And then my pastor years ago that kind of gave me a spiritual direction.
Oh, wow.
And then Sugar Pie here, my wife.
Good. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Because all of the stuff that my dad told me about how to take care of your wife, how to take care of who we are. His name was James Flowers, and he used to say, "You are a flowers man,
Oh,
and flowers men do this." And so I learned who I am
yeah.
from him,
He was a good teacher.
and I see myself being who I am from who he taught me with her, and that is I can't I normalize that, but the more we do this, I find people just weren't been blessed or benefited to have someone that would actually teach them who they are. My dad loved my mom for 40 something years before she passed, and I got to watch him love her.
Oh, I've gone now. Sorry.
That's sweet.
That's wonderful.
I'm very lucky, James, and then you're very lucky, Kathy.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. And Kathy, what about your wonderful people in your life?
Well, I would have to say this guy right here.
It's only fair, isn't it?
Yeah, I've learned a lot from him. I'm a better person because I married him. And then I would have to say my mom, she is my comedy relief. She's 90 years old, but she makes me laugh.
Wow. Yeah.
Every day. I don't care. It could be on the phone. I could be with her. We can be shopping because she likes to shop.
Good girl.
But she's a funny lady. She always finds humor. Her life hasn't always been, what she would have liked it to be. I remember growing up without very much, but mom made the best of a hard situation. And so now in her latter years, she's just become a comic. I tell her all the time that she could have been on stage. And my sister, who is a giver. She just absolutely gives. I mean, she oozes with giving. She loves to give to people. And I've learned how to be a giver. I want to say at one point I was a little stingy or selfish about sharing. And then I just, from watching my sister from a distance, I learned, what benefit is that to have something that someone else could enjoy? So I learned how to be a giver through my sister. And then this guy here, I'm just a better human being because I've been married to him for this.
You and me.
So wonderful.
That's so lovely.
Oh.
There we have it.
We love.
It deserved it. The occasion deserved it.
It did, absolutely.
So our last question for this episode is, what is the big picture you want people to know? What's the big picture in your message?
It's a good question.
To understand another human being's experience and to accept them for where they are because of their experience, and to hopefully share that everyone can change and evolve into someone else, no matter what your experience has been. Because all of us can have a do-over. All of us need to extend a do-over to other people. in a
Well
nutshell.
said. Well
Yeah.
said.
Life,
very well
life
said.
is too important to do without skills. So
Yeah.
Mm.
relationships are doable. Good relationships are doable,
Mhm.
and life is too important to do without skills.
Mhm. Very important to
Absolutely.
commit to them. Life is
Yeah.
too short without them.
Right, right.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Thanks so much for
Thank you.
joining
Yeah.
us today.
That was, can I just say that's what from my favorite. That's, yeah, you've been my favorite. I shouldn't pick favorites because they're all lovely, but you're my favorite. I don't care. You're my favorite. That was
Thank you. It was
gorgeous.
so good to meet you.